speech is the fundamental prerequisite for democracy. That's why it's enshrined in the first of our constitutional amendments.
Dude.
The fundamental piece of our democracy.
He is so money.
This is about control. Everybody knows. Everyone complies. We're the kinds of pros. I don't need a plane. I just hit the road. I do what I want. I can't sell my soul. Market about to crash. This is what you chose. Ruining the country. I think that's the goal. You gonna take the mark. I take narrow roads. I'm a man of God. I can never fold.
We don't want to be late. I got it.
I don't
All
want
right.
to be late, but yeah.
Welcome to the Protect Your Purpose podcast, where we talk whiskey, business, friends, family, and freedom. I'm your host, Matt Marchese, and this is my bright and colorful friend with matching tattoos to his clothing.
Whole ensemble today, dude.
And the mustache is fucking back, Grady. What up, my dude?
How's it going, man?
Yeah, welcome back to the
Missed
show.
you guys.
Yeah, welcome back. Yeah, it's been a minute. It hasn't been a minute since we've been together.
Right.
I mean, just for the audience, their reference, it's not like we're going this length of time, but and we've actually done. Have we recorded a show? Anyway, neither here nor there.
I wasn't
Zach.
on the last one, so
Welcome
it feels
back
like forever.
Yeah, it does feel like forever. And it also kind of feels like forever to me. Either way, what are we drinking today?
I got you. Back to the well.
Yeah, back to the well.
Yeah, we'll just go with this today.
Okay, so we've got
Buffalo Trace still.
Yeah, we're on our house trace. Little surprise in there for you. Little dropper flavor. Just kidding. No, I didn't. Listen, just drink the fucking whiskey.
Okay.
Anyway, so here on this show, we're changing things up again on how we do things. Anyway, we've got our 4 formats: the business, friends, family, and freedom. Today, I'm even changing the definition of these. By the way, this is how fluid our show is. Yeah, we're trying to figure out what we're doing and shit, and how we're going to make sure our audience knows what to expect, and make sure we're giving them as much value and it's pointed as possible. Thank you for the pour.
You're welcome.
And today we're going to discuss freedom, and we're going to discuss freedom in current event format.
Yes.
And what that's going to look like is Ian's got some videos back there ready to turn on for us, and we're going to fucking talk about them, kind of like a reaction.
Yeah, I'm ready to turn you guys on.
Are you?
Hey-o.
Ian always likes to turn us on back there. He's been drinking too. So what are you drinking today, Ian?
I'm drinking some what's the name? Brand name?
Revelton
Irish liqueur.
Yeah, you like that.
Spoken
a
like
lot,
a
actually.
true seaman.
Yeah, we spoke. We drank it the other day on a show, and
You did?
we did with my mother. And
Fair.
We had to liquor her up so she would actually come on the show.
oh, dude, my
She
mom
was
was a
not-
tough one.
You
She was
guys
not
are
having it.
not alike. You do not get your outgoing person. I mean, she's outgoing, obviously.
Did you say
but
we're not to like? What did you even
alike?
say?
I said alike.
Ian and I are not alike.
You and your mother. Like, you don't get
Oh,
your
Welcome to the
outgoings.
conversation.
No shit. You guys are not. I thought we were.
Sorry, I could have
me
been a
and
little
Ian.
more specific there.
It's
It's
a
a lot
it's-
of people.
No, it's totally my fault. I get
But
it.
you don't get your outspoken nature from your mother, I don't feel like. But she probably can be, but not in this format.
She's an Italian American, Irish Italian. My mom's half Irish, half Italian. My dad, on the other hand, is full-blooded Italian, and both from the Northeast, right in New Jersey. My mom was born in Newark. My dad was born in I don't remember where he was born. Bergen County, maybe. Hackensack. Anyway,
Sure.
North Jersey, where they have outspoken behaviors coming out of the fucking womb. So, or outspoken
So
personalities.
correct me if I'm wrong. I don't think I ever met your dad in person. But I
don't know.
was on a few FaceTimes when you were hanging out with him, and just that vibe.
You missed out, man.
Oh,
My dad was a fucking
guaranteed.
dope ass dude, and my mom is. You're exactly
your
right.
mom. Love
My
your
mom is very much like Lindy.
Yes. I can
Very
see that,
much like
100%.
Lindy. Only, and I. By the way, for the podcast and the listeners, I just almost referred to my wife as Mindy. Don't ask me why. I've never
It's an
even
easy
said that. Here it
easy
is.
mistake, though.
Yeah, Mom and Lindy, I guess. So here's Mindy. But Mom and Lindy are very similar in their personalities, their behaviors.
And the way they talk about the kids. The way your mom talks about you 4 boys is the same way Lindy talks about
Yeah.
your kids. It's crazy to
Yeah.
hear.
The only difference is my mom is from New Jersey and Lindy's from Nebraska.
Right.
So.
Also, we learned, just to give a little hint,
A teaser?
of a teaser,
Ooh.
is we found out that Matt's mom became a psychiatrist because she raised the Marchese boys.
She told us that.
In a roundabout way,
She's
she
like,
said
I
it.
really need to learn how the brain works with
Yeah.
these fools.
Well, anyway, it was a good show. You missed a good show. I'm glad to have you here, though.
Good to be here.
Yeah, we're gonna talk some shit today. We've got some We got some shit going on in the world, man.
I'm excited about
Real
this.
quick, before we get into it, we also need to address the fact that someone is not here because they're probably wondering.
Shit. And welcome to the show, Lindy.
My lovely wife,
My
Lindy.
lovely wife, Lindy, is not here today. We have her glass in case she shows up late. I'm just kidding. We don't have her glass. She's not showing up late.
Should we pour one out for her? I guess I didn't
Like
think
to
about
my
that.
homies. Yes. To my homies. This will be
This one's for the homie.
for my homie.
I'm sure we'll drink it.
That's I just want to pour a backup glass for us. Well, when we run out, we don't have to refill ours.
Exactly.
Oh, we should do that.
Got one in the chamber.
Yeah, it's part of the deal, though. Anyway, all right. Well, dude, welcome back to the show. We're going to bring a show today. Oh, before we get started on drinking and talking mad shit, likely about freedom, I did want to mention, because Ian makes me, be sure to like and subscribe and follow us on all of our socials, platforms. We're going to watch this. I've watched the video already. Have you seen the Tucker?
I've seen
what we're going to watch.
Yeah.
So we'll hop into it here in a
It
second.
gives me
But
chills just thinking about it, actually.
oh man, I can't wait to hear yours. And Ian and I got into a mildly heated discussion yesterday.
Over Tucker?
Nope, over Donald Trump, that I'm going to bring back up on this, see if I can get Ian a little fucking fired up.
Can you hear me?
No.
Oh, that sucks.
Yep. Okay. Ian's out. No.
Oh, my mic's not working. Dang it.
No, listen, I'm super excited to, number one, for the future of media, which we'll watch in a second. I'm sure we'll hop into, but I'm excited to, I think some things are going to, that have not always been, or that have been uncertain for me, might come out of this. Like, I'm looking for certainty. I'm looking
About certain people.
Agreed.
Agreed.
Namely, and specifically, Elon fucking Musk and Tucker Carlson. Like, you guys, everyone know, anyone who's watched this show ever or listened to the show ever knows that I'm a skeptic. But then you throw Donald Trump in the mix. I've been a skeptic of that dude since fucking inception of that dude. Before he actually made a run, when he used to just talk shit about running, when he was building his wealth and building his fame and building his notoriety and building his base.
And he was telling people, "You're fired.
You're fired. You're fired."
The Apprentice? Is that
The Apprentice? My parents, speaking of my mom and dad, they loved that show, and I used to go in and be like,
"Who the fuck is
you
this guy?
fucking watch this guy? Like, what a tool." This is my dad. They loved him because he's from New York, and he had, my mom calls it the New York attitude. One day, she said, after Trump was elected, and they were all in on Trump, they said something about not liking Obama. And I was like, what don't you like about Obama? I mean, I know what I don't like about Obama, and that's, I think that he is
a snake.
Yeah, it's you know, I think he was the smoothest globalist to ever fucking walk the planet.
Very smooth.
Right. You know, Big Mike Michelle is also smooth as fuck, by the way. Big Mike is
I saw you post that the other day.
Big Mike
Big Mike.
Yeah, I saw Big Mike. Big Mike is also smooth as hell, too. So I'm afraid of that. Anyway, I asked my mom, I'm like, why don't you like Obama? Like, out of curiosity, like, what are these two New Yorkers going to tell me about not liking Obama? And she says, I just don't like his arrogance, his cockiness. And I'm like,
And you like Trump?
but you like you like Donald Trump? Hold on a second. And I looked at her, I said, you can't say you don't like someone because they're arrogant and then in the exact same sentence say you do like something, because she said, we just like Trump because of he just has that New York attitude. And I'm like, that's arrogance. You're sitting there saying you can't say this. And you know what my mom said? She looked at me, and you'll love this because now you've gotten to see how my mom and I interact. She says, yes, I can.
Just that's it.
That's it.
Yes, I can.
Yeah. I said, you can't say that you dislike Obama because of his arrogance, and in the same sentence say you like Donald Trump because of his arrogance. And she said, yes, I can.
I can understand why, though, because Donald Trump is more like out in the open with it, where I think Obama is kind of like a
Slick.
closet.
Yeah, he's slick.
Arrogance.
Yeah, okay.
Kind of like douche awareness.
Listen,
Exactly.
Trump has
zero.
very little douche awareness, if any. Either he's the greatest actor of all times, or none douche awareness. Yeah, he's on that. Major douche.
I'm starting to think he's not a great actor. So,
well, all right. So let's hop in. Anyway, awesome that my mom left me speechless, because that's how she said,
Love it.
yes, I can. And I went, well,
you can't even argue back to that.
You know what? You're right.
You can.
You sure can. My whole thing is freedom, and you absolutely are allowed to do and say whatever the fuck you want. So I'm sorry, Mom. But anyway, all right, let's hop into this. I don't know where I was going with that, but saying that I'm excited to not only talk about, the future of media and how that affects us. Number one.
Big time.
Yeah, like that's huge. Mm-hmm. And number two, I'm excited to discuss the potentials of some clarity for all of us. I mean, I've had all this doubt with Trump. I've had all this doubt with Musk. I've had all this doubt with Tucker, all of which seem to be bringing my message that I want of freedom. Their behaviors don't fucking match. Their behaviors don't match often. But then you ask, like, why don't their behaviors match? Maybe Musk's somewhat, controlled opposition because he's got, $1 trillion government contracts. Maybe he is controlled, but he's still a good guy.
He's controlled in a different sense.
Right. Yeah. We're all we believe in absolute free speech, but we'd be lying if we said we didn't self-censor on this show, because we are essentially controlled opposition. Like
we also joined the United States Army, which controlled opposition.
Right. Right. There's a lot of things to unpack here, so I'm excited about talking about that Tucker video, man. I'm chomping at the bit. I can't fucking wait.
Chomping at the bit. So, what do you want me to do, Matt?
Ian, roll that video.
Roll the beautiful bean footage.
Roll that footage. Roll that footage. Listen,
it's on.
We definitely have to come up with some sort of Ian intro to that. So, Zach, I'm really counting on you for that and your creativity.
Figure something out.
All right, let's fucking go. Roll that video, buddy.
Boom. Here we go.
Hey, it's Tucker Carlson. You often hear people say the news is full of lies, but most of the time that's not exactly right. Much of what you see on television or read the New York Times is in fact true in the literal sense. It could pass one of the media's own fact checks. Lawyers would be willing to sign off on it. In fact, they may have. But that doesn't make it true. It's not true. At the most basic level, the news you consume is a lie.
Hey, press pause.
A lie of
Yeah.
All right, so this dude is 25 seconds into this video.
Already
dropping truth bombs.
Bro, saying the media is lying to you in its entirety.
If you already didn't understand that's how media worked, though, like, are you living under a fucking rock?
Well, no. Now,
Come
yes.
on.
They're living under a propaganda rock. It is literally a metaphorical rock, a shade, a cloud that is covering people, dude. That's why we're doing this show, so we can come on and speak truth, so we can talk about.
But even in a small sense, man, you have to know they're cherry picking what they fucking want to show.
Well, dude, it goes back to the conversation we had with Shipwreck. Yeah, now, but think about how many people 3 years ago, 5 years ago,
you're right,
20 years ago. I was in high school. It's been 20 years now, but 20-something years. 20 years ago, I was in television production in Miss Goodrich's class, who is one of the dopest teachers ever to have. Like,
shout out
Miss G. She was and is a part of our family. Like, she had 4 of us. And
I didn't even think about that.
Yeah, and
That's a different topic.
and we were tough kids.
Should we get one of your teachers on the show?
I would love to have Miss G. Would be dude. She would be a bomb ass fucking guest. She's like the loudest, most outgoing, big personality you can ever see. Anyway, so Miss G, I remember her telling us in a TV production class, like, the news is fake. Like, the news isn't don't believe what you see on TV, because she was trying to teach us the creativity, how we can twist a fucking narrative with the power of production, of editing. So she was showing us, and she was educating us on not only how to do this, like how you control the narrative you control emotions through film, how to edit what you're trying to achieve from the end viewer. Then, of course, we would talk about that, like how the news, they control the narrative. That was 20-something years ago, dude.
Right.
And that was me. And I didn't understand it.
Yeah.
Now, those words mean something entirely fucking different than we did then. We're like, oh yeah, the media just lies. They're looking for emotion.
So it used to be people thought they were just lying for ratings.
Correct.
Yeah. to
Right.
you publish the stories that people want to hear, the train wrecks.
Right.
But now it's
They're
the
controlling.
truth is coming out.
And there's a big fucking umbrella. And if you didn't know that, like I encourage everyone to go back and rewatch this as we watch it, because it's going to be a lot to unpack over the next couple minutes of him speaking. But either way, I just wanted to stop and point out that at this moment,
Literally 26 seconds.
26 seconds in, he has already said, the media lies all the fucking time to you. And then he goes on to explain how to play it.
I also want to point out, too, of just how monumental this is for Tucker Carlson being on Twitter. I think that...
Hold on, we haven't even got to that point yet.
To what point?
The Twitter.
Does he talk about actually being on?
Yeah, just let's play.
Okay,
Hold on.
Okay.
Okay.
I'll blame my last.
Blay your last.
Stealthiest and most insidious kind. Facts have been withheld on purpose, along with proportion and perspective.
Pause it.
You are being manipulated.
Oh, that's a good line. You are being
There
manipulated.
it is. And this is where he goes on to explain it. Like, yeah, listen, people, listen to what I'm telling you. Same thing you just talked about. You are being lied to on purpose. They're not. They're removing facts from an otherwise true story, leaving it as that, and they're doing it on purpose, and they're doing it with the intent to manipulate us. He's like, he's hard to. He's an intellect, and he's a master debater, and a silver tongue. Very difficult to understand sometimes. Like, go back and listen to what he's saying. Like, I don't know if Tucker's a good guy or not. I don't know if he's controlled opposition. I don't know what his, I don't know what the purpose behind all of this actually is, but I could tell you what he's saying is 100% truth. And he's saying the quiet stuff out loud.
I think if anything, like, him doing this is essentially unleashing him. Like, he is 100% uncontrolled.
So did they
now.
do that on purpose?
I don't think so. I know there is the side of that.
I think that's too big. Like, I understand most people have caught on at this. Hopefully, most people have caught on at this point. But to come out and actually say it, like, what?
Bro.
I mean, I agree. Anything's possible, but that seems like too big of a...
Dude, if he... There's a possibility, okay? So the flip side of this is, and I think we should wait until later to talk about it, but the flip side of this is that they are putting on this show. It's all, the world is stage. This is a part of the script of the movie that Tucker gets terminated. Tucker goes out. Tucker sides with Trump. Tucker sides with Musk. That's their team to create more divide and more outrage. And more divide and more outrage amongst us will happen if they partner up and they...
I honestly feel like it's done the opposite of that, though.
I'm hoping.
It feels like it has.
Dude.
So I'm with you. I'm optimistic about. I think this is good.
All right. I want to talk about that later. Let's listen to the
go ahead.
I hope so. That's my heart wants this to be...
Good guy story.
Fuck, man. Mm-hmm. And if it is... This will be the greatest story.
These two men will go down in history, dude.
They will be fucking Paul Revere. They will be the most iconic faces and men since our founding fathers.
I can see that because it's also going to change the future of
it will
news.
change the framework of media. It will change the framework of our country. Like what we're about to see unfold. Regardless of how this ends, people are like, oh, I don't listen to that political shit. This is not political anymore.
No.
You have to understand what the fuck is happening. There is a war. There is a battle at the highest level of the financial system, the highest level of government in the world for freedom. There is a battle and a war going on right now for the control of the population, the control of information, words, the control of our children. And right now, and all of that comes. That's why free press, that's why free speech are such important constitutional rights and values that we need to protect because of, right.
I think he touches base on that.
Oh, does he? All right, let's go to it. Man, fuck. I'm so excited that he did this.
Yeah.
Because I'm excited about talking about it. Go ahead.
Roger that.
Held on purpose, along with proportion and perspective. You are being manipulated. How does that work? Let's see. If I tell you that a man has been unjustly arrested for armed robbery, that is not, strictly speaking, a lie. He may have been framed. At this point, there's been no trial, so no one can really say. But if I don't mention the fact that the same man has been arrested for the same crime 6 times before, am I really informing you? No, I'm not. I'm misleading you.
Hey, pause.
And that's what the news media...
To unpack, he just gave an exact example
Right.
of how they mislead your ass.
That has probably happened recently.
Surely this is a real story. Yep. If not a direct correlation to a real story.
Because real quick, the way that we see this is, again, everything's about to divide. So what they're saying is a black man just got arrested for a crime that we don't have proof on. But again, so they're adding in his race because, again, that's what sells. And then they're not mentioning the fact that, like he just said, he also been arrested 6 times for the same crime before, because no one wants to hear that. No one wants to hear a man was arrested for a crime that he had done 6 times before. What sells is a black man was arrested for, a crime that we're going to blame on race.
But it's not about sales anymore.
Right. Now, although that is true, the key objective is divide. And if they can put out there that
a story,
a man has been, and a black man or a brown man or a white man, whatever media outlets trying to manipulate you, and they do it for fucking everyone. It's on both sides of the story. The story is created to make us and keep us divided.
Make one person a hero and one person a victim.
Exactly.
Another real
you hate me and me hate you for our physical appearances, because that's what we can see. So if they can say a black man was unjustly charged with a crime, then the black man and the communities of such color, where we could see these facial features and human exterior characteristics that we could divide each other on. So when I see you, I know you're the enemy.
Right.
Then they say the white man did that to that man. However, the real story is the man committed a crime. Doesn't matter what color he is. And it doesn't matter what race you are or what community you're a part of. You don't fucking want that shit. And if it's a white man, I don't want him in my neighborhood if he's a career criminal. If he's a black man, I also don't want him in my fucking neighborhood. If he's an Asian man, if he's a purple man, if he's a pink man, green, it doesn't matter. I don't want...
Criminal's a criminal.
Criminal's a criminal. And that's the way 99.9% of the fucking human population thinks, especially, particularly like countries with laws. We don't care, but they conveniently leave the shit out, which is a lie, and they do it on purpose to manipulate us. Now you ask, we know that they're doing that, but is the majority of the population that understands that they are manipulating us, they are lying, are they still of the belief that it is for ratings and to sell a story for a financial gain, or are they now wakening up, which is what's happening, to the understanding that they're not keeping this from us for financial gain? They're dividing us, and they're dividing us so they can take away our fucking rights. That's what they're doing. So anyway, go ahead.
Boom.
They are doing in every story that matters, every day of the week, every week of the year. What's it like to work in a system like that? After more than 30 years in the middle of it, we could tell you stories. The best you can hope for in the news business at this point is the freedom to tell the fullest truth that you can. But there are always limits. And you know that if you bump up against those limits often enough, you will be fired for it. That's not a guess. It's guaranteed.
Pause that. Dude, this dude is going to be impossible to stop.
Dude,
Literally.
He is going to be
actually
impossible.
fear for his life.
He's
That's how impossible he is to stop right now.
So
That's actually a really good point,
oh,
Zach.
absolutely. So
I never even thought of that.
Dude,
he already recluses. He lives in seclusion. He records from home. He doesn't.
good.
Yep.
He
already
probably understands it too.
Yeah, I think if I remember correctly, I think he had to uproot his family already because they gave out the mob gave out his personal fucking address and ran him out of his home.
So let's assume that he's not controlled ops. 100% fear for this man's life, because the people who are controlling CNN and Fox News and the whole narrative.
Oh, they suicide.
If this dude's unleashed and uncontrollable, especially with Elon Musk's money and backing. Whoa, shit, butthole pucker moments for the people who are running the world, you know? Because it sounds like all he wants to do is shine a light. Like, I want to bring you the unfiltered truth that I'm not allowed to do on any news station, on anything.
Without fear of losing and they give you, dude, yes.
You might be fired for it.
Yep. They give you.
Well, guess who my boss is? Elon Musk. Good luck.
They set you up. It's the same way. I mean, it's control, regardless. And this is where it doesn't matter if they're a good guy or a bad guy in media. They're controlled. How do they control them?
Who's writing your check?
Right. Well, they dig up dirt on them. So you have to be a fucking saint in order to even take a media position, because then if you don't go with the narrative, then they expose you, and now you have to live with a lifetime of shame.
Slur in middle school one time.
Exactly. And they take, you know, old school shit and they put it into present day wokeness rules and you know, fucking, what's the word I'm looking for? Modern day standards, right. Woke standards of language. No, dude, we used to say shit. We used to call each other retards. We used to say, you're gay.
We used to play a game called Smear the Queer.
Smear the Queer, right. Like, it was a different day. It was a different time. And
we used to tell midget jokes.
Yeah, we used to be able to tell midget jokes without fucking being in fear of being canceled for being bigoted, you know, whatever. It's bullshit. It's ridiculous. To be perfectly honest, not that it comes to any surprise to anybody listening to this show, I want those days back, and that's what Make America Great Again means. It doesn't mean make America racist again, make America white again. It means make America not so fucking fragile anymore. Make it back to where, you know, if you got insulted, you know, sticks and stones mentality. Like, words don't fucking hurt. Now, words are, well, it's propaganda, man. We know this. Mm-hmm. There's a reason why they have literally convinced an entire generation of people over nearly a global population. I mean, as far as the media will reach, they have convinced people that words hurt, that sticks and stones are not what you need to be afraid of anymore. It's the words that are fucking words and guns.
You know it. The point in my head of, I think, like the most eye-opening moment for me was when comedians had to start censoring themselves. That was like the last untouched field, like, because a comedian's a comedian. Obviously, they mean no harm by it.
Yeah,
but
Will
now
Smith.
they have. Yes,
Chris
that
Rock
was
gets
the moment.
slapped.
That's right. And
for not even a bad.
Listen,
like,
I got fucking receipts. The day that happened, I created and posted on my phone. I was on an airplane.
I remember that. Yeah,
Yep, it was fucking wokeness, bitch slapping, stand-up comedy. It was over that day, and I said, that weak-ass joke, that sent a message to the whole world. You fucking listen, comedians, you used to have this kind of, this overhead cover, this cloud coverage. Yeah,
they got the pass.
Exactly. You had a pass. You could say racist shit. You could say, you know, homophobic. It's just a joke. We're artists.
I don't mean it. It's a joke.
It's just a joke. And that was the global power saying, Will Smith, you think they didn't have the script of the jokes prior to? You think that was the first time Will Smith heard that joke? Whether Chris Rock knew he was getting bitch slapped or not, Will Smith knew that he was going to say some shit about Jada. Because there's no way the script writers
let him go off script.
Fuck no. There's no way, dude. And I don't, listen, whatever that was, the words are under attack, and you're right. All right, let's go. We're never going to get through this.
Every person who works in English language media understands that.
Mm-hmm.
The rule of what you can't say defines everything. It's filthy, really, and it's utterly corrupting. You can't have a free society if people aren't allowed to say what they think is true.
Period. Stop.
Speech is the fundamental prerequisite for democracy.
There it is.
Oh.
The fundamental.
Can you just rewind that?
The fundamental
for our audience. It is right here. It's perfect. It is utterly corrupting.
You can't have a free society if people aren't allowed to say what they think is true. Speech is the fundamental prerequisite for democracy. That's why it's enshrined in the first of our constitutional amendments.
Dude.
The fundamental piece of our democracy.
He is so money. He is so right. He understands it so well.
And can say it even better.
Dude, he says it in the most clear,
easy to digest,
yet
like even
intellectual.
Right.
Yes, dude, he's a wizard. He's a master at this, and that's where I feel like when you have someone like this, an insider. I mean, you guys probably don't, but Megyn Kelly went off to NBC or wherever she went, and then her show got canceled because they basically tried to put a real tight leash on her, and she was like, "I'm not doing this anymore." You know, like fuck you. But dude, when these intellect freedom fighters, also insiders, get freed of their fucking gag order that they're under,
watch out.
They're hard to fucking control, and they're hard. The only way they can control them is through litigation and settlements where they have non-disclosures after the fact. So it's basically a fucking muzzle, and they can only insinuate and hint at shit and make us all read between the lines. But if this dude bailed on this contract and he's willing to say, "Fuck you, fight me,"
Elon said, "I'll pay it. I got you." That's what happened.
I think that's what happened.
100%.
All right, let's go.
Well, Elon, before you start
Amazingly,
that, Elon came out and said they have no agreement. There's no agreement.
Elon and Tucker?
Yeah, there's no agreement. He posted this video, actually, and said, "We currently have no agreement. He's under the same rules and regulations as any other Twitter user."
Really?
Yeah. Like, there's no actual agreement. I mean, you can, unless there is now, but Elon posted this exact video with those words.
Dude,
Something along those
wizardry.
lines.
All right, play it. We'll check it out in a minute.
As of tonight, there aren't many platforms left that allow free speech. The last big one remaining in the world, the only one, is Twitter, where we are now. Twitter has long served as the place where our national conversation incubates and develops. Twitter is not a partisan site. Everybody's allowed here, and we think that's a good thing. And yet, for the most part, the news that you see analyzed on Twitter comes from media organizations that are themselves thinly disguised propaganda outlets. You see it on cable news, you talk about it on Twitter. The result may feel like a debate, but actually the gatekeepers are still in charge.
Hey, pause that.
We think that
Here's what this means. What this means is, even though Twitter is, as he's alleging or proclaiming, it is a free speech site where you are not hindered any longer, assuming he's referring to since Elon Musk has taken over, because obviously beforehand it wasn't. But what he's saying is the news media, the mainstream news media, is still forming all of the opinions. Then they are they're censoring it prior to its engagement on Twitter or its publication on Twitter. He's saying even though Twitter itself is a free speech site or allows this, the news media that is being shared on Twitter is still fact-checked, is still censored.
So here's what Elon said, and this is important to read because it adds context. So when Elon shared this, he did write a little paragraph, and it says, "On this platform, unlike the one-way street of broadcast, people are able to interact, critique, and refute whatever is said, and of course, anything misleading will get community notes. I also want to be clear that we have not signed a deal of any kind whatsoever. Tucker is subject to the same rules and rewards of all content creators. Rewards meaning subscriptions and advertising revenue shares coming soon, which is a function of how many people subscribe and advertise views associated with content." Now, this next part is extremely important because I believe this is what's going to change all media going forward. I hope that many others, particularly from the left, also choose to be content creators on this platform.
Bro.
Yeah.
Bro, listen to me. This is going to change everything.
Everything. This is going to change everything.
And what Elon is saying, which is the way I took it. I didn't think that Tucker bought stock in Twitter and then Elon is, but I think there's no deal made.
There's going to.
Well, he also knows it's going to make him money. I mean, this is going to boost Twitter's
and I would
everything.
bet, although there is no deal made with Tucker bringing his show to Twitter, I would bet that Tucker will be heavily monetized from that. I bet there becomes a deal with that quickly.
100%.
Also, I bet that Elon has said, if you bring that to this platform, which will bring fucking millions and millions and millions and millions and millions of views every month, which they will then sell advertisements against, I assume, which will create hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of millions of dollars worth of ad revenue, or revenue some sort. I would bet you that Musk says, we'll make them, like, we will win this lawsuit. We'll settle out. I would bet Musk's money ends up behind his involvement in Twitter, whether there's a contract or not.
So
Yeah, for sure.
What I also think is that for the future, this is probably going to end broadcasting, because what it does is for anyone who does work for Fox News or CNN that feels like they are leashed up, they're muzzled, they now know, hey, one of two things. I could start a podcast and be on my own. I could be on Twitter and be on my own. It grows shows like ours, because people are going to be like, well, hey,
Let me find
if
my
you're
news
not
somewhere
underneath
else.
a CNN or Fox News, this is where the truth is like this on
Dude,
shows like ours.
We just talked about it on a couple episodes ago with Shipwreck. The future of news is us, like, which is not the reason, but a part of the reason why we decided we're going to go in and chop up mainstream news. We're going to go in and we're going to do current events with the mainstream news, so we can bring an element of truth,
Filter it out.
and filter the shit out to bring it to the consumer and bring it to the end user, the people, with truth, with a second form of opinion, and not just an absolute, which, as Tucker has just so perfectly described, fucking lie, propaganda machine. And it's all, anyway, go ahead, let's play.
That's a bad system. We know exactly how it works, and we're sick of it. Starting soon, we'll be bringing a new version of the show we've been doing for the last 6.5 years to Twitter. We'll be bringing some other things too, which we'll tell you about. But for now, we're just grateful to be here. Free speech is the main right that you have. Without it, you have no others. See you soon.
Dude, I love Tucker Carlson. So let's talk about this. Let's hop into this. We've got I doubt we're getting to these other videos
Yeah,
today.
this
but
is enough, honestly.
yeah.
It's a lot of stuff.
This is a lot to unpack, and this is dope as shit. I love this format because it allows us to, I mean, really dive into some of these words that are being said. And as Tucker just so perfectly, again, described, words are the war. There is a war. Words are the weapon in this war right now. Like, there is a reason why they're trying to completely deconstruct our language. There's a reason why they are just completely dismantling the dictionary and our words as we know them. There are a reason why we're words we are not allowed to say without being completely fucking our lives being destroyed. There is a reason, and it is because words are the weapons in the war right now. They are trying to take away our freedoms. As Tucker said, our right, our most important one. We explained this not long ago. Without speech, there's a fine line between free speech and free thought. Without free thought, we become slaves of our own mind. Generations to come will be slaves. They will be like the 5 monkeys. Watch that video. Google it. 5 monkeys. 5 monkeys, that what they do is they spray a hose on the monkeys. There's 5 monkeys. Every time a monkey climbs up the ladder to get to the banana, they spray everyone with a hose. They remove one monkey tries to go up. They spray the monkeys with a hose. The other monkeys beat the shit out of the monkey. Next thing you know, they remove another monkey. They climb up, spray it with the hose. That monkey, all the rest of the monkeys beat the shit out of that monkey, or that monkey that climbed up. By the time it's all done, there's 5 new monkeys in there. Not one person knows why. There's no hose, but no monkeys climb up and get the banana. They don't know why they beat the shit out of each other. They don't know why they get sprayed with a hose. They just know that if you touch that banana, you get sprayed with a hose, so they all defend that theory. And none of them know why anymore, because there's no hose. But nobody goes up and fucking touches that banana. That's what they're doing to our language, dude. Generationally, they're taking that away from us, and that's a right. Eventually, we become slaves in our own mind, which is what Kanye was trying to say when he got labeled. He said something along the lines of slaves were slaves because they wanted to be, or whatever. What he was trying to say in his weirdo Kanye way was they're slaves in their own mind. They outnumbered them. They could have left anytime they wanted, but they were conditioned. In North Korea, same way. They're slaves and they have no more free thought. So Anyway, I love this new format. What I want to talk about is the Musk, Trump, Tucker, and there's some others, but we'll take an effort to save time and energy here and to hopefully zero it in. I want to know what everyone knows my thought about how these guys, and I touched on it a minute ago. I don't trust anybody. None of them. I don't trust Tucker. I don't trust Elon. I don't trust Trump. None of them. But assuming that Fox News was taking a DeSantis position, assuming that Tucker was maybe taking a Trump position, and Elon might be going that way, I don't know, there might be a new sort of like a third, a left, right, center major media outlet coming in the form of social, which is just truth. What are your thoughts on the possibility of us getting some clarity on these super influential people?
Yeah, so I'll tell you where I've gone. I've been on a roller coaster with these three, as you might have been too. Like everything that comes out will send me in a different direction. Started off super high on all of them. Whenever, when Musk was taking over Twitter, when Trump was running for president, I've always kind of liked Tucker on Fox News, just like you said, the way he delivers the news.
Like Shipwreck said, he's entertaining. He's fucking hilarious.
Yeah. And then there was a time where I was even more skeptical of them. Like, man, I just don't know who to trust anymore. And I feel like it's coming back up. Like I'm more of an optimistic outlook now than probably in the last year or so. Mm-hmm. I feel like good things are coming, and they're not controlled opposition, as we like to say. Now, maybe in a sense of money and those types of things, sure. Trump is getting kickback, I'm sure, from a lot of different places, but I think all their hearts are in the right place.
You think Trump's going back to Twitter?
Wow, dude.
Yeah. I mean, if Tucker's going to Twitter, there's going to be a lot of fucking eyeballs on Twitter, Mr. Trump. I wouldn't, if this is an ego thing and not a control thing, if I'm President Trump, I'm taking my ass right to fucking Twitter.
Tail between my legs.
Yep, I'm
come
going
on back.
Listen, Tucker is going to change and reshape. Not reshape. He's
shaping.
He is the nail in the coffin for what has been shaped, and he's going to finalize that shape, I think. And I think exactly, and Musk knows that, and that's what Musk's statement meant, which is, we know that because we're going, hey, independent media. Whether we started this show just to try and save the world and to bring fun and a positive light to things and talk truth and spread, goodwill and encouragement for people to do better and pursue personal excellence and pursue wealth and give them life hacks and personal experiences, all to build communities to save the fucking world, or not. At the end of the day, this is given us a new opportunity to be a part of the truth tellers, on these platforms. Like if we're going to podcast on Twitter, and Musk is saying, hey, welcome everyone here, dude, there's going to be a massive influx, a rush to this. We're in a good position in the world.
It's kind of exciting.
It's
for
exciting
us too.
For us.
We're kind of in it, We're
right
at the ground floor of this fucking thing.
Yeah, I think so too.
Another way that I look at it is just like my content creator brain is, I'm hoping this has a reverse effect on all other social media platforms, meaning if Twitter is going to be the wild, wild west of uncensored, YouTube doesn't want everyone to go to Twitter. Instagram doesn't want everyone to go to Twitter. So I'm hoping they start censoring people less. Like, okay, maybe we were censoring a little hard, and everything's for the most part, about money to those people. So they're like, we are losing a lot of viewers, a lot of money to Twitter. There's only one way to change it. We can't double down on censoring people because more people are going to leave. So maybe we loosen up these restrictions a little bit, which that's what I'm hoping for. Because again, as a content creator, restriction, and just even us, like we, for the most part, don't censor, but there are stuff that we know, like if we want to have a show on YouTube, we have to play by some rules. So maybe this is going to have a reverse effect on everything, and it's just going to open up everything for dialogue. Because at the end of the day, that's what we need.
That's interesting.
Make no mistake about it. If you're listening to this show and your goal is to influence, and your goal is to influence either via mainstream media, takedown, independent media, or reaction videos, or any kind of online eyeball content influence that you're trying to achieve, there is a major shift coming right now. And I think we all need to be prepared for it with AI and the paradigm shift that could potentially come with speech, with Fox News being CNN has been garbage for years now. With Fox now being taken down, all of these eyeballs, I think I read that he got like 25 million views in 24 hours or something on this video, and it's still going up. Who the hell knows how many it is by now? 50, 75, 100 million? Like, those amount of eyeballs are unfucking real. And what that is an indication of is that, hey man, the eyeballs are on Twitter, not on Fox News. There's that many more people on the secondary outlets and the social platforms than there are watching the old news. Is the mainstream media, is that the phone book?
Yes.
Of news.
So to add some context
like it is.
to that,
it's fucking gone, and it's going to the internet.
Sinclair,
and they did not do a good job. These mainstream media outlets did not do a good job. On Tucker's last video, or one of the videos where sorry, I didn't mean to.
You're good.
Not let you speak. One of the videos they released on Tucker was him, like a hot mic type situation where he was talking shit, which was hilarious, by the way. It probably did him more favors than anything. But he was like, yeah, I don't want to post it on Fox Nation. Why? Because they did a really crappy job with the website, because it sucked, and that's where everything's going, and they're investing no fucking money into it, and I don't know why. I'm trying to figure out why we have this awful website, and it's because they have no fucking idea how to gain influence in the online world. They are stuck in a dinosaur age, and with all the fucking AI and the technology, they need to put an AI CEO at the top of one of these fucking media outlets and say, hey, dick shits, you need to build a personal brand like Tucker did, and the way you do that is by 100% absolute fucking consistency in a personal person, in a brand, and then the platform becomes the breeding ground for those individual fucking personalities, brands. Tucker is his own brand. That's it. And he was, obviously, so is Bill O'Reilly, so is Megyn Kelly. They are the Fox News brand. Well, guess what? Those brands are leaving your little fucking couple million, your little 5 million person bubble, and they're going to a fucking 100 million bubble. It's a major shift. So make no mistake about it. If you are trying to build an online brand, pay very close attention right now to what's happening, and start predicting what the future looks like and make a move towards that. It's going to be a major opportunity, and ultimately in the freedom format, I think this is the biggest
time for us.
Dude, I think this is the biggest opportunity for America and for the world freedom right now. And the more people on this shit, the better.
Does it matter to you? I don't know where Elon's motivation is coming from, but does it matter to you if he is truly a freedom of speech advocate and fighter, or if he just understands how big of a money grab that'll be?
I don't know. I know either way, it's not what they want. So whether he's controlled up and he is, acting within the bounds of his control mechanisms to enrich himself or to follow what the market wants, it's quite apparent that the market wants unfiltered news. We don't want bullshit anymore.
Move,
right.
For sure.
So two things can be true at once.
Yes,
maybe he
100%.
found a loophole. Maybe he is controlled. But I think either way you look at it, what is happening is an adverse effect to what a global government, a controlled, a world communism, and, all the way from losing our right to travel, to social credit scores, to tracking devices, to surveillance state, to control state, police state, whatever those agendas are, this is not serving that.
Elon
because
Musk needs to start an airline. and
Dude,
fly people
fucking
around.
check this out. Elon Musk now controls, like a global town square
Yep.
forum. Okay, Twitter. He now is about to have media make a fucking mad dash, like a gold rush, to Twitter real estate for media. He's got space covered. He's got,
This dude.
bro,
I got another one to add.
he's got, hold on, maybe I'll get to it. He's got internet communications,
Starlink. That's what I was going to say.
Starlink. He's got the largest and most active, for sure, electric vehicle transportation under wraps. He's got a boring company where he's got tunnels being built all over the fucking country, presumably all over the world. I don't know much about the boring company.
Me either.
Bro,
Katie's an airline company.
you want to talk about handing over control. I mean, that's...
You can argue that he's the most powerful person in the
better
world.
hope he's a fucking good guy.
You better fucking hope he's a good guy. And then with powerhouse, this is where I get, give me, where's my tin? Did you get those tinfoil hats? I need my tinfoil hat right now, because here's where I look at it and say, am I now being a part of this problem, pumping the Tucker, pumping the Musk? Like, are we saying, oh, we're so blind that they're our savior,
Right.
and handing over everything to them? Are they at that
think
point
you
in the
gotta-
game?
But at some point, you gotta
Bro, that's a
pick
lot.
a side.
Yeah.
Well, that, and I think something too that we kind of learned from the shipwreck show is you got to at least have somewhat of an optimistic mindset and hope, right? Because at the end of the day, that's the only thing we have left is hope. If everything is all doom and gloom, what is there left to hope for? Like,
That's right.
we know that news is a lie, right? So what do we hope for? A wild, wild west where we get the truth. That is what we have the potential for with Tucker Carlson on Twitter. So I'm hopeful that is what we're going to get.
Yeah, dude, that's that man's search for meaning. It's purpose, bro. We want hope is purpose. Purpose is hope. Without purpose, it is very hard to possess hope. I think they're in some cases interchangeable. And yeah, sure, we've built an entire fucking show around bringing purpose to people in a form of hope, with the understanding on that man's search for meaning reference, where without hope, we tend to die. We tend to start dying inside. It's like when people die of a broken heart, they lose a significant other, their brain shuts down because they lose purpose.
Dude, you hear those stories all the time about like a wife
Of
dies
course.
and then a couple days later.
Dude,
the
that was my
husband
worry
falls
for my
sick.
mom. Is that my mom, because her and my dad were just like me and Lindy. Like,
Right.
She found
they
new
were-
purpose, though.
Dude, my mom told us about it. Her grandkids, she mentioned 6 grandkids. I mean, my mom's got a lot to live for. She's also a mental health counselor. I mean, she's been diving deep into mental health for 25 years. She understands it, but that is a thing. And what
Right.
that is described as in that book is when people lose, they die of a broken heart, means they lose purpose. When they don't have purpose, their brain literally the computer that controls their body and their bodily function shuts down. And what we wanted to do with this show is provide people purpose and insight. And just like you just mentioned, as far as from that show, which is why everyone seemed to really love that show, just brought a different light. And I think this Musk, Tucker, Twitter, I think it brings another positive light to let people know. I mean, as Tucker told us, if we still have our words, as long as we can still hear the words, there's hope, there's purpose, we've got this. And I encourage everyone, all of our listeners, to fucking do the same thing. Use your voices. You never know who you are going to influence. We started this show with little to no people watching us. We've now had 15 million people in the last 45 days filter through our show with stories and with, like, dude, 15 million people in 45 days is huge influence. You never know what you're going to say as long as you're saying the truth that is going to impact somebody and give somebody some purpose. We have testimonials. People message us daily and comment on our videos and our shit saying, man, I needed this. Holy shit. To my former spouse, to whatever it is, I'm sorry. We're bringing love and heart and soul and purpose out of people. And all we're doing is using our rights. We're just getting online, talking about the truth. If you want to get online and talk about what everyone else is talking about and not talk about truth, you're going to blend right in with everyone else and a good luck. But to promote and to provide purpose to people, I think is what we need to continue to do to save the world.
And you know what I love, Matt, is I have a feeling like truth is going to be the new cool thing. And I love the fact that we've been doing this. This is episode, past episode 30. And that we were doing this before truth was the cool thing to do, right? Because I think Tucker Carlson on Twitter is going to change everything. I'm optimistic that's going to change everything.
Fuck, bro, can you imagine how we felt fucking 3 years ago when no one would say the truth? When no one would, we literally had family members say, I don't want to hear that truth, so I'm not talking to you anymore. You go in your little echo chamber and your pool.
Well, I know me and Zach were on the same page. Our eyes weren't open. Before COVID, we didn't know that there was something being hidden or, and I think like COVID opened up
the great
awakening. Literally, yes.
That's right. Yeah. Listen, man, truth will set us free. It will fucking save us. Truth is what is absolutely going to be doing. So if you don't like Musk, if you don't like whatever, I don't give a fuck what you like. You have to love that there are people with massive level of influence that are standing in front of us, in front of the world, saying we're going to, whether they talk truth or not, now that's up to us to decipher. Let's not be fooled. This is a huge opportunity for us to get out there and spread as much truth as we possibly can in hopes to save this fucking thing.
And to the decipher thing, Tucker even alluded to that. Like, they're saying what they think is true. Like,
Right.
just fucking use your words.
Well,
man.
and
Use your
also,
words.
also just don't believe everything you say. Do your research. Like
No.
Matt, before we started this, when we were bringing up the videos, I asked you,
Vet everything
do you want
do.
me to bring up CNN or Fox News? And you said, no, I want all of it.
All of it.
Like, don't just listen. If you hear something on CNN, be like, I wonder what Fox News says about that.
Yeah.
And then you decipher, oh, well, I like this other side of the point better.
Bro, if you could consume both of them equally with no fucking preconceived judgment on what that video is going to be and what your opinion is you're going to take, if you consume both of them for
You're going to get the truth.
Oh, dude, it's pretty fucking easy. I mean, there's some people that ain't.
I mean,
you know.
CNN and Fox News was partially the reason originally where I started figuring out news media was bullshit.
Yeah.
Because they'd take the same story and
watch-
approach it from two separate angles, and you're like,
Dude, I knew this was going to come in
"How the
handy.
fuck is that happening?"
Right at the end. Anyway, listen, I'm going to wrap this thing up. I appreciate everyone's involvement in the show.
Go
Thank
look up
you.
Tucker on Twitter. Watch both his videos. The one after he got fired, and then this one. They're
Agreed.
both very good.
Yeah. And dig deep into those words, people. The words are the weapons of war right now. Dig deep into these words. Words fucking matter. And when they try and tell us that a boy is a girl and a girl is a boy, tell them, no, fuck you, no, it's not. Don't you take the definitions of my words, because what they're then trying to do is censor us, make us self-censor, even worse, censor us from saying those words. Now they are controlling our language. If they're controlling our language, they're taking away our ability to communicate. If we don't have the ability to think for ourselves and communicate, we are fucked. It's over. We don't have the ability to defend ourselves. We are 100% controlled once they have the words. So dive deep into what Tucker's words are. Follow and like this show. Of course, what are you going to say, buddy? Anything?
Smash that subscribe and like button.
Yeah, I knew that's what you were going to say.
If you want to
Smash
save
that.
the world, smash that subscribe and like button.
That's right. If you want to save the world, smash that subscribe and smash that like button and mash that share button.
Smash all the
Fucking
things.
smash
Yeah,
all over the place.
we've got some big shit coming on this show. Please follow along. We're super excited about this. We're hopeful that we can get, we will have to self-censor less maybe on Twitter. A lot of new opportunities coming for us and everyone. A super positive light to shine on what's happening, the shitty shit in the world right now. So thank you all for joining us. We appreciate your love and your support. And as always, find your purpose, serve your purpose, and protect your purpose, people. Thank you all for joining.
1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3.
Boom.